All right, so today we're diving into SCP.2E,
Okay.
tabletop RPG. Throws you right into the SCP Foundation, that shadowy organization
Yeah.
dedicated to containing all things anomalous.
Yeah.
I'm guessing most people listening are already
Yeah.
familiar with the secure, contain, protect mantra.
Yeah.
So we'll skip the creepypasta intro and get right to the good stuff, how this game actually works.
Yeah, so what's really interesting about SCP.2E is how it really embraces the lack of a fixed canon in the SCP universe. So instead of being tied to a specific storyline, the game allows you to build your own canon universe.
Okay.
And drawing inspiration from the vast and wonderfully weird collection of stories on the SCP Wiki.
Yeah, it's like the game hands you a toolbox full of bizarre possibilities and says, go build your own nightmare.
Yeah.
But before we unleash the anomalous, let's start with the basics. How does SCP.2E actually play? What makes it tick?
So at its core, the game uses a dice pool system based on 8 attributes: strength, dexterity, perception, health, intellect, willpower, charisma, and fate.
Okay.
And here's where it gets interesting. While each attribute matters, certain ones become crucial depending on your character's role in the team.
Right.
So, for instance, a frontline fighter will rely heavily on strength and dexterity,
Right.
while a researcher might prioritize intellect and perception.
So you're not just building a character, you're building a specialist
Exactly.
who excels in a particular area. I can already see how those choices could lead to some interesting team dynamics.
Exactly. Now, whenever your character attempts an action, you roll the dice pool associated with the relevant attribute,
Okay.
keep the top 2 results,
Okay.
add them together, and then add your skill level.
Okay.
It's actually surprisingly straightforward, even with all the potential complexity of the SCP universe swirling around it.
So let's say my character, a quick-witted field agent, needs to pick a lock under pressure. I'd be rolling my dexterity dice, adding my thievery skill, and hoping for a high number.
Yeah.
But what determines success or failure? Is there a target number I need to beat?
This is where SCP.2E's versus system comes into play.
Okay.
Instead of a fixed target number, you're usually rolling against an opposing force often controlled by the director.
Okay.
The twist is the opposing force rolls first, so you know exactly what you need to beat. This adds a layer of strategy to every action, allowing players to assess the situation and adjust their approach accordingly.
That's a neat twist. It's not just about blindly rolling dice. It's about reacting to the situation,
Right.
making tactical decisions on the fly. So if I'm understanding correctly,
Yeah.
higher rolls are good,
Yes.
but knowing what you're up against is even better.
Precisely. And there are even ways to influence your roles. For instance, good role-playing and teamwork are rewarded with reverence.
Okay.
Spend 2 reverence, and you can re-roll your attribute dice, giving you a second chance at success.
So it pays to be a team player and really immerse yourself in the role. I love that. It's not just about crunching numbers. It's about creating a compelling narrative.
Exactly.
But let's say I'm facing a challenge that takes time and careful planning, not just a quick roll.
Yeah.
How does the game handle those situations?
That's where timed rolls come in.
Yeah.
So let's say you're trying to hack a secure system. This isn't something you just do in a snap.
Right.
The game uses a series of rolls representing the time and effort involved. Each roll brings you closer to success or failure, and the tension builds with every dice roll.
So it's like a race against time, with each roll representing a step closer to the goal or a potential misstep that could trigger an alarm. That's a great way to create suspense and add weight to those crucial actions. But what about those moments when teamwork is absolutely essential?
Right.
When one agent alone just isn't enough?
That's where dual tech and triple tech come into play, allowing 2 or even 3 players to combine their skills for a single powerful action. So imagine needing to pry open a heavy blast door. 2 players could use dual tech, combining their strength and relevant skills to overcome that obstacle.
So it's like a synchronized attack.
Right.
Where the team acts as one cohesive unit,
Yes.
pooling their strengths to achieve the common goal.
Yes.
I can see that being a lifesaver in those high-pressure situations.
And the game doesn't stop there.
Okay.
It goes even deeper with mechanics like disruption classes and drama cards, which add layers of strategy and unpredictable fun to every session. But those are stories for another time.
All right, you've piqued my curiosity. Let's hold off on those for now. Before we get lost in the intricacies of advanced mechanics, let's talk about building these characters, these specialists who are venturing into the unknown.
So character creation in SCP.2e is actually quite versatile.
Okay.
They offer both fast and advanced methods,
Yeah.
catering to players of different experience levels. Fast character creation, as the name implies, uses pre-made characters or a simplified point allocation system. Perfect for those who just want to jump right into the action.
Okay. So there's an easy on-ramp for newcomers.
Right.
But for those of us who love to tinker
Yeah.
and really personalize our characters, what does the advanced method offer?
Advanced character creation is where you can really unleash your inner mad scientist, crafting a character with a unique backstory, specialized skills, and even their own quirks and flaws. It's a deep dive into the nitty-gritty, but trust me, the results are worth it.
Okay. Color me intrigued. What kind of tools do we get in this advanced workshop? Where do we even start?
Well, first, you choose your character's disruption class.
Okay.
Think of it as a measure of their starting potential for chaos. Higher disruption classes represent characters who are inherently more powerful, perhaps due to specialized training, innate abilities, or even a touch of the anomalous themselves.
Okay.
But there's a trade-off. The higher your disruption class, the fewer bonus points you get at the end of each session, which can affect your character's long-term growth.
That's a fascinating balancing act. So you could have a team with a highly skilled agent from a high disruption class.
Right.
But they might not develop as quickly as a rookie with a lower disruption class.
Right.
It sets the stage for some interesting dynamics, with experienced characters potentially being outpaced by those who start with less, but learn and adapt faster.
It definitely adds a layer of strategic depth to character progression, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Whoa.
We also have attributes, skills, and aspects to consider.
Okay.
You allocate points based on your disruption class and age, with younger characters often having more physical attributes, and older characters possessing a wealth of skills and knowledge. It's a balancing act, really, choosing between raw potential and seasoned experience.
So you're not just picking skills and abilities, you're crafting a narrative, a history for your character. It's like choosing between a prodigy with natural talent or a veteran who's seen it all and learned from their mistakes.
Yes.
I'm starting to see how this advanced method allows for so much nuance.
Right.
What about those aspects we touched on earlier? They sound particularly interesting.
Aspects are the spices in your character's recipe.
Okay.
They add flavor, depth, and even a touch of unpredictability.
Okay.
They represent your character's background, talents, quirks, and even supernatural abilities.
Okay.
Want to play a former soldier turned paranormal investigator? Grab the soldier aspect for bonuses to combat skills.
Okay.
Then layer on paranormal investigator to reflect their growing expertise in all things spooky.
So you're not just a collection of stats. You're a person with a past, with experiences that shape your skills and perspectives. And I imagine these aspects aren't just static labels, right?
Absolutely not. You can invest additional points to unlock further benefits for each aspect.
Okay.
Let's say you choose the hacker aspect. Initially, it might just give you bonuses to computer-related skills.
Right.
But by investing further, you could specialize in specific hacking techniques.
Okay.
Gaining access to more sophisticated tools or even developing a signature style that makes your character a legend in the digital underworld.
It's like a mini skill tree within each aspect, allowing you to truly specialize in your chosen field.
Yeah.
And with those anomalous aspects, things can get really wild.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a character with telekinesis, delicately maneuvering objects with their mind. But I imagine wielding those kinds of powers comes with a price.
Right. Anomalous aspects are undeniably powerful, but they're not something you just slap onto any character.
Yeah.
There needs to be a story behind them, a reason why they possess these extraordinary abilities. Maybe it's a latent genetic anomaly, a side effect of exposure to a specific SCP, or perhaps a dark pact made in a moment of desperation. And yes, they often come with drawbacks or limitations to keep things balanced and exciting.
So it's not just about having cool powers. It's about weaving them into your character's narrative, making them a believable and integral part of their identity.
Exactly.
And imagine the director plays a role in keeping those powers in check, right?
Absolutely. The director, as the guardian of the game's balance and narrative, has the final say on whether an anomalous aspect fits the tone and theme of the campaign.
Right.
They might even introduce challenges or scenarios specifically tailored to test those abilities.
Okay.
pushing the character to their limits and exploring the consequences of their powers.
Speaking of the director,
Yeah.
I'm curious about the SUS score you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
What exactly is the suspicious uniform score, and how does it impact gameplay?
SUS, or Suspicious Uniform Score, adds a delightful layer of realism and strategic decision-making to the game,
Cool.
especially in scenarios where maintaining a low profile is paramount. So imagine your team is infiltrating a civilian area to investigate a potential anomaly. A character strolling around in full tactical gear, bristling with weaponry,
Right.
would immediately raise eyebrows and potentially compromise the entire operation.
So it's like a fashion police for the SCP Foundation,
Right.
ensuring agents don't stick out like sore thumbs in sensitive situations.
Exactly.
But wouldn't a low SUS score limit a character's ability to carry all their gear?
It's a delicate balancing act.
Right.
A high SUS score might hinder social interactions and make stealth impossible,
Right.
but it could also be a strategic advantage in situations where intimidation is key.
Okay.
Think of it as a resource management puzzle. Do you prioritize firepower and risk blowing your cover?
Okay.
Or do you pack light and rely on your wit and skills to navigate tricky social encounters? It all adds up to some fascinating choices for players.
I'm loving this. It's not just about gearing up for battle. It's about thinking tactically, considering the context of each mission, and adapting your approach accordingly.
Yeah.
It makes the game world feel so much richer and more believable.
Exactly. And speaking of adapting and making choices, let's talk about drama cards.
Okay.
These cards add a layer of unpredictable fun and agency to the game, allowing players to influence the narrative in unexpected ways.
Okay.
Imagine them as a deck of narrative wildcards,
Okay.
each with a unique effect that can be used to turn the tide of battle, create hilarious moments of chaos, or even introduce unforeseen story twists.
Okay, drama cards sound like my kind of chaos.
Yeah.
But are they just handed out like candy, or is there a system for earning and using these powerful tools?
Players earn drama cards throughout the game by accomplishing objectives, demonstrating exceptional role-playing, or even surviving particularly harrowing encounters. It's a reward system that encourages active participation and creative thinking. And to prevent players from stockpiling a handful of game-breaking cards, they're organized into decks representing different security levels within the Foundation.
So you're not just collecting cards, you're earning access to increasingly sensitive information and resources.
Exactly.
As you progress through the ranks. It's like getting promoted within the Foundation itself, gaining clearance to use more powerful tools and influence the narrative in more significant ways.
Precisely. And this ties into the favor system, which adds another layer of intrigue to the game. So imagine you need something special from the higher-ups in the Foundation. Access to a restricted piece of equipment, intel on a particularly elusive anomaly, or maybe even a favor from a powerful and well-connected NPC. That's where the favor system shines.
So it's not just about punching things and solving puzzles. It's about navigating the complex social landscape of the Foundation itself. It's like playing a game of bureaucratic chess, building relationships, and calling in favors to get what you need. And I imagine those favors aren't always easy to come by.
Earning those favors is no easy feat. It requires careful planning, strategic decision-making, and maybe even a bit of creative persuasion. Players need to cultivate connections with NPCs, complete side missions, and generally demonstrate their value to the Foundation.
Right.
It encourages them to think beyond the immediate objective and engage with the world on a deeper level.
This is sounding less like a game and more like a simulation of life within the SCP Foundation itself, with all its bureaucratic complexities and hidden agendas.
Right.
I'm already brainstorming ways to cultivate relationships with those NPCs.
Yeah.
But before we delve too deeply into the shadowy world of Foundation politics, let's talk about the game's expansions.
Okay.
I hear there's a whole arsenal of customization options waiting to be unlocked.
Oh, absolutely. Weapon customization is a fantastic starting point, especially for players who love to tinker with their gear and find the perfect loadout for their character's playstyle.
Okay.
Forget standard issue weaponry. This expansion lets you tailor your arsenal to your heart's content. Want to add a silencer to your pistol for stealthy operations?
Okay.
Or maybe a laser sight to improve your accuracy in close quarters combat, the possibilities are endless.
So it's like having access to the Foundation's secret armory.
Yeah.
Where you can tweak and refine your weapons to match your preferred tactics. It's about creating that perfect synergy between character and equipment, giving each player a unique edge in the field. But I'm guessing guns are just the tip of the customization iceberg. Right?
Yeah.
What other treasures lie hidden within these expansions?
Well, beyond the world of weaponry lies a treasure trove of over 100 aspects, ready to be woven into your character's narrative and abilities. These additional aspects offer an even greater level of detail and personalization, allowing you to create characters with incredibly specific backgrounds, skills, and even flaws.
Hold on, flaws? You mean like intentional weaknesses? Why would I want to give my character a flaw?
Think of flaws not as weaknesses, but as opportunities for role-playing and character development. They add a layer of realism and complexity, making your character feel more human and relatable. Maybe your brilliant scientist has a crippling fear of spiders.
Right.
Or your battle-hardened agent struggles with authority. These quirks can lead to hilarious moments of tension, unexpected challenges, and even opportunities for personal growth as your character confronts their fears and overcomes their limitations.
So it's about embracing imperfection, finding those cracks in the character's armor that make them feel more real, more vulnerable.
Exactly.
It's about creating those moments where their flaws might hinder them, but could also lead to unexpected triumphs.
Right.
I can see how that would add a whole new dimension to role-playing and storytelling. But before we get too lost in character development, let's talk about those 100-plus aspects.
Okay.
What kind of variety are we talking about here? Anything particularly exciting or unusual that caught your eye?
Oh, there's a staggering variety. From mundane professions like chef or librarian to more specialized roles like cryptozoologist or mimeticist. And then there are those that delve into the truly bizarre, reflecting the inherent weirdness of the SCP universe. One that particularly caught my eye was the anomalous artist aspect. Imagine a character whose creations literally come to life, blurring the lines between art and reality.
Oh, an anomalous artist. I'm already picturing a character whose paintings drip with otherworldly creatures, or whose sculptures shift and change with every blink. The possibilities are truly mind-bending. It sounds like these aspects could be used to create some truly unique and memorable characters, each with their own quirks, skills, and narrative hooks.
Exactly, and that's what makes SCP.2e so special. It's a game that embraces the vastness and strangeness of the SCP universe, offering players a toolkit to craft their own tales of containment and exploration. It's a system that balances detailed mechanics with creative freedom, inviting players to delve into a world where the impossible is always lurking just around the corner.
I'm sold. SCP.2e sounds like an incredible experience.
Right.
A chance to step into the shoes of those brave souls who face the unknown and protect humanity from the anomalous.
Yes.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, I have to ask, how does SCP.2e compare to other popular tabletop RPG systems? What makes it stand out from the crowd? For me, the appeal of the SCP universe has always been its blend of horror, science fiction, and just plain weirdness. But so many RPGs out there focus on combat and loot. Does SCP.2e capture that unique SCP feeling?
Yeah.
Or does it fall into the trap of turning everything into a dungeon crawl?
That's a great question. And honestly, what sets SCP.2e apart is its focus on investigation, containment, and the struggle to understand the unknown.
Right.
It's not about slaying dragons or collecting magic items. It's about unraveling mysteries, piecing together clues, and confronting threats that defy conventional logic.
So it's more like an X-Files episode than a Lord of the Rings campaign. Sign me up. But I'm also curious about those canon universes we mentioned earlier. Does the game offer different flavors of the SCP experience? Could my group, for example, explore a world where the Foundation doesn't even exist?
Absolutely. One of the most exciting things about SCP.2e is its flexibility when it comes to setting. It's not limited to a single canon. It's a multiverse of possibilities.
Right.
You mentioned a world without the Foundation. That's the unfounded universe, where the anomalous is incredibly rare, and humanity is largely unaware of the lurking shadows. Imagine your players stumbling upon a strange artifact or encountering a creature that defies explanation with no established organization to guide them.
It'd be like those early SCP entries, where the sense of mystery and dread was palpable because no one truly understood what they were dealing with. So it's perfect for a campaign that leans into cosmic horror and the fear of the unknown. What about settings where the anomalous is more overt? Are there universes for those who prefer their conspiracies a bit less clandestine?
Oh, definitely. There's the Broken Masquerade universe,
Okay.
where the veil of secrecy has been shattered and the public is fully aware of the anomalous scheme.
Right.
Governments, corporations, and even religious groups are vying for control, and the world is teetering on the brink of chaos. Imagine your players navigating a world where reality-bending technology is being weaponized, where cults worship extra-dimensional entities, and where the Foundation is struggling to maintain order amidst the pandemonium.
It'd be like a blend of X-Men and Men in Black with a dash of John Carpenter's They Live thrown in for good measure.
Yeah.
Sounds like a recipe for some intense political intrigue and morally ambiguous choices.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any settings for those who liked your SCP with a side of post-apocalypse?
Well, if you're looking for a world gone sideways, there are the post-apocalyptic universes. Okay.
Imagine a world ravaged by a reality-bending plague, or one where an interdimensional invasion has reshaped the planet.
Right.
Survival is paramount, and the remnants of humanity are struggling to rebuild amidst the ruins of civilization,
Right.
all while contending with the ever-present threat of the anomalous.
So it's less about containing the anomalous and more about adapting to a world where it's become the norm. A fight for survival with a side of existential dread.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm officially overwhelmed by the sheer scope of possibilities here. It sounds like SCP.2e isn't just a game, it's a platform for crafting your own personalized journey into the heart of the SCP universe. But before we lose ourselves in those infinite realities, any final words of wisdom for aspiring players and directors?
For players, I'd say embrace the collaborative nature of tabletop role-playing. Work together, communicate, and don't be afraid to let your character's personality shine through.
Okay.
And remember, sometimes the most memorable moments come from unexpected failures or hilarious mishaps.
So it's about letting go of the need to win.
And embracing the unpredictable journey, right?
Exactly. And for directors, I'd say immerse yourself in the world of the SCP Foundation.
Yeah.
Read the original entries, explore the vastness of the wiki,
Right.
and let that sense of wonder and dread inspire your storytelling.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to experiment, to push the boundaries of reality, and to create scenarios that challenge your players both mentally and emotionally.
So it's about becoming a conduit for the weird and wonderful, guiding your players through a world where the impossible is always within reach. Sounds like a recipe for an unforgettable gaming experience.
Absolutely.
Well, there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the world of SCP.2e, the tabletop RPG that invites you to secure, contain, and protect your sanity as you face the weirdest and most wonderful that the SCP universe has to offer.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore the world of SCP.2e for yourselves.
Yeah.
Who knows what mysteries you might uncover, what creatures you might encounter, or what realities you might bend along the way?
Until next time. Stay curious, stay safe, and remember, the Foundation is watching.
Yes.
But more importantly, they're waiting for you to join their ranks and face the unknown head-on.